Hey, University. It's a absolute privilege to introduce somebody that you might have had a chance to meet already. This is Pastor Liliana Padilla. She's a blessing to the city, blessing to my life, and now a particular blessing to University as our partnership takes another step together this July as Liliana becomes a part of University's team and University becomes an official part of the Impacto team. Impacto, as she'll tell you here in a bit, is a partnership of churches for and of the West Side and University here on the North Side as we seek God's blessing and God's work among us together that we might both grow in grace. Liliana has been a blessing along that journey in devising this, so I'd love for you to tell them a little bit about who you are, where you come from. They'd love to know you better. We're really excited to have you, Liliana.
Hi, but thank you for having us. My name is Liliana Padilla. I'm a pastor in Rio, Texas conference for 17 years. Be a pastor in Mexico. I was ordained elder in Mexico and was ordained elder in the United States. My husband is a pastor. He worked in the conference, and I have 2 kids. I'm be a Methodist since I born. My grandma was orphan in the times to the revolution, and the missionary Methodists make an orphan, and my grandma grow like a daughter for the missionary American in Mexico. And this is the reason I born Methodist, and I feel so grateful to God to come back to the blessing the United States having with the kids orphan, and now I have the opportunity to return all blessing to United States too.
Do you remember or know how old your grandmother was or what town that was in Mexico?
Okay, my grandma born in 900,000.
Yeah, 1900?
And she started in the orphan at 11 years old.
Okay.
Like the times to the revolution was at the time.
Okay, 1911. And what town? Do you know what town?
And Mexico City.
Oh, Mexico City. In Mexico City. So, this is one of our first conversations, Liliana, when I got to know her. I asked, how do you become this amazing leader, and how are you in the Methodist Church? And she started talking about this story, and I just love it, that the ripple effects of somebody saying we care about kids, cared about an 11-year-old girl in 1911. This is the revolution in Mexico, Pancho Villa, in that time period. So her parents were killed in the conflict?
Yes.
So your great-grandparents. And so she's an orphan. She gets loved, educated, brought up by women. Was it UMW? I think, yeah. That started this orphanage. And then here we are, 3 generations later, living in the shade of the tree, here being blessed by that. It's fantastic. So Impacto is a word that covers like the community, Impacto Comunidad. We call it Impacto for short, but having a community impact. What's the origin story of how that began, and what are your dreams about what it might look like?
Yeah, okay, but was maybe 3 or 4 years ago when we start meeting with CLI, with Texas Methodist Foundation, when start looking around to the congregations around to the West Side, when they are locked for resources, the buildings are too small, and thinking how we can serve the community. And this is the idea for Impact, to say how we can share resources with the other churches and how we can push the congregations to go to the outside, to the community, to serve the kids, to the moms. And was a dream, thinking, talking, and say, okay, God, how we can start? How we gonna start? And that time, the COVID started. And was the opportunity to say, hey, go outside. This is the COVID give us to say.
Guys, I'm going to pause you to say, did you see the excitement in response to COVID? I don't know if y'all remember the videos we made before, but I didn't go, yes, an opportunity to do ministry in a different way. That is everything that I've seen in her every time. Massive challenge. It's really hard. And you go, here's a new thing we can do with God. Like, that's just, anyway, that just a microcosm of like what it's like to be around you and watch the Spirit work with you. So you get excited about going outside and doing this thing you've been dreaming about, and what's been happening?
Yeah. And normally before COVID, we only thinking how the people come to our churches. But the COVID started say how we go to the outside with the people. And the opportunity come, the blessing come, superintendent start support us and say, okay, what wanna do? Wow, but we have a lot of opportunity to go outside and give food, have a parking services, and now the Impacto Virtual here was the big opportunity to share the good news to 1,000 people. And this is the start. What now I see a big opportunity to serve more since the new building. The COVID bring us a new building too. And this building now we call Impacto Community Center. It's in front to the HEB Nogalitos, and it's amazing. This building is amazing. The light we can share around to the community. I don't know, you know the streets, the 90, 35, west side, south side. This is all opportunities to connect it with the new generation for Hispanic, the new generation for kids who come from Mexico. And I see this building and Impacto like opportunity to educate the community, to serve the community, to be a family for the community, to feed the communities, many, many things.
If you're not already excited, you're going to be. If you haven't a chance to be over to Divine Grace, in fact, this week, as we're filming this, the Wedlands Methodist Church is here for UM Army, and they were down there last night, 250 of them worshiping and eating, and it's just amazing, and they're working on some of the building. That was a church that was no longer operational, that they thought maybe Liliana was getting bored, so they handed her the keys to that church during COVID and thought, like, let's start dreaming there. University's got to be a part of that. Many of you that are watching this perhaps have been down and have heard about our Connected Partnership. COVID's kind of changed some things we can do, but as we kind of go forward, we're excited about having more on campus at University, blessings that come from the West Side and from West Side leadership or from people who live near our building. One of the things that Liliana has pushed us to think about has been how many people in a radius around University whose native language, heart language is Spanish, and how can we reach them with the gospel and for the gospel. And so to that end, there's been gatherings here. They've been recording their live stream service because we were doing all kinds of digital stuff, and so our team is well aware of them on Thursday nights. That's going to move to Wednesdays in the fall, and that will be an in-person service as well, which we're really excited about having that on campus. It'll be in the loft, the third floor of the South Building. Very excited to see that worship service grow and just be a part of the heartbeat of who we are here at University. That's going to be Impacto at University. It will still be live streamed out to all those other places, but I will tell you, the number of people, maybe you can speak to this, that watch their live stream or get on Facebook and encounter the preaching that you provide and the music of that team through the technology here in this building is pretty exciting. I mean, I think you've seen some real growth there. And any thought, I don't know if you want to share anything on that, but it's just sort of exciting for us to be a part of.
And one of the vision is how we can be the space for the many different people like us. When we go to the street, go to the mall, we see many faces different for us. And why these faces don't come to worship together? Or why don't come to be a new family, a new support team for each other? I think so. The media, the Facebook, they give us opportunity to connect it, but not only connected, touching. Tocándolos, acercando nuestras manos a ellos.
So like hand in hand, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So like a incarnational connection. And we've seen that too. We love that we have the video. We love that we have live stream. And then there's something about community that happens when we can get connected. And these are ways that happen, maybe bridges that get built. We like to talk about that here a lot. You're going to love Liliana. We're excited to have her. You're going to get to know her better. She'll be here some. Her primary role will be on the West Side. That's where we want her leading and calling us. But she's also going to help us think more about how we are integrated in the life of the city and how we might have blessings and grow in our own story. So we're really excited to have her as a part of our thinking. She has been, but now it's official. And we're really excited to be a Impacto location, have a worship service here, and then be in full partnership with you. I have learned so much from her. You will as well. And you will be blessed because this woman is a gift of God to the city and a force of the Holy Spirit for those who have ears to hear and eyes to see. I'm excited to share this with you. Anything else you want to share with the good people of University?
And thank you a lot.
Thank you,
Dad. You don't know how many people we touched for these last 2 years. We feed a lot of people. Almost we complete 1 million pounds the food for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Kids meals, moms meals, and food, backpacks, toys. Thank you for all your blessing. Thank you for all opportunity to share with the others ones the blessings.